it's like super early. I don't really sleep very well anymore. So yeah, I'm wide awake. Been working on a project for someone. Repairing an ARP 2600. So as you can see over here, I have a very nice iconic synth that came from Massachusetts, because I guess that's where they originally designed ARPs. So I'm going to claim that the ARP was originally designed there, or yeah, somewhere similar to there. And I'm going to say that we've got a Buchla 200E hybrid system here on my left, and it's California. So some of those designs date late 60s to the 70s. And with the ARP, I found out the 2500 was 1970 was production. And the 2500, they made like 100 of them. It was not considered a commercial success. So in my research, as I repair synthesizers, of course, I'm always reading about them and figuring out more information. And I am a repair tech secretly. I tell some people. I don't tell others. This ARP 2600 was brought to me with a damaged spring reverb tank. So you can see the springs completely broke off in shipping. So I believe they did not pack it as well maybe as they could have, or UPS could have been a little bit nicer to it. It's probably a combination of both. And in this tank, this is Accutronics, a Ableton one. You know, we've seen these a lot in IntelliGel systems. They have three sizes: the little blue one, the medium, and this is the large one. And I've seen these in, I think the medium one is in the music easel. You might see some of these in guitar amps. Usually this can withstand the blow, but I'm assuming if something hits it hard enough, which in this case it did, it's broken, right? And I can't resolder these because it's so destroyed. These little teeny like baby pins, and I believe once they're broken, I don't have much chance of getting it back into the pickup transducer or microphone, whatever this is soldered into. So I ordered another tank that is 4 springs. It's darker. It's a Fender tank. It got better reviews. And yeah, I took apart the ARP 2600, which it's not the first one I've seen the back of. You know, working for Switched On, I've had the luxury of seeing a lot of these instruments and a lot of these machines. And one of my friends asked me, the guy that I'm repairing this for said the other day, he said, have you seen almost every synthesizer ever made? And I was going to say, not every one, but I've seen a very large amount, from like CS's, you know, the 60s, my favorite, to ARPs, to Buchlas, to Korgs, to Moogs. So I've seen a lot. I've sold a lot of them to people. So I've heard them a lot, and my ear has developed, of course, over time because I've heard such a large amount. And today I was just going to, in the stream, share me playing a couple notes on both synthesizers so that people could have an opinion for themselves if they don't have a friend that they are around that plays with synths as much as I do, right? Or repairs them as much as I do. So again, I get this really awesome point of view because I'm not afraid to take things apart. In this one's instance, I think there were 4 screws on the top of the cabinet and there were 4 screws on the side of the cabinet. And once you take those 8 screws out, the panel comes off, and inside there's wiring harnesses. So I had to disconnect a bunch of those to test the reverb tank, which was obviously broken. The other problem was they did install that with the intention that it was never coming out. So I had to Dremel the bolts off of there to get the tank off the back, because I guess they use so much Loctite that it stripped the screws, and my arms are strong, but you know, I've taken apart a lot of stuff, but that was near impossible. So I Dremeled off the top of the bolts without damaging the Tolex on the synthesizer, and yeah, to my luck, the tank came off and I got to see that it was broken. I ordered the other tank. It should be here July 8th. So when I install that here, maybe we'll get one more stream of me jamming on it with a working spring reverb tank. Hopefully it is the correct size. I think the ohm rating was the same. That's what I only care about the mathematics when I'm trying to replace something inside. I needed an 8 ohm spring reverb tank. That was kind of like the impedance on the input. So I wanted that. Some of the guitar ones are a lot higher. So, all right, I've talked a lot. Sorry, I didn't want this to be like that. Excuse me. So in each system, I'm going to talk really quickly. The ARP system is 3 oscillators, sample and hold, a ring modulator, a filter section, an AR, an ADSR, a mixer, and a VCA. If I had a working reverb, it would have reverb. There is a voltage processor with lag, and inverters, a switch, and there's some mults on the other side, and there's a preamp up in the top if I wanted to plug something in. So ARP's most iconic sound for the 2600, as anyone may know, is R2D2. So R2 was made with the ARP, and I will make a few sounds today that fringe on the R2D2 sound. The Buchla is not maybe as well known, or it might be a little more rare in some people's instances. The idea that it was silver apples in the moon, and that's is it Morton Subotnick? And I'm trying to think of like other things that it was on, just like right out of the top of my head. A lot of people use it, like Todd Barton, someone that I really like that uses it. Kuro, he's another guy online that uses it. He's Tokyo Tape Music, and he designs the cards for the easels that are like the different filters. Northern Lights has been like reviving designs, and so has 1979. So my system has 1979 stuff in it. It has Mark Verbose in it. I've built some of Roman's kits, which was the 259 and the 245. And then I have E modules, which is like the mixer, or the low pass gates, the envelopes, and the random source, and the frequency shifter. So I have 2 bandpass filters in this one. I do have random voltages, and I do have a 5-step sequencer. There are 4 switches and voltage processing as well, just like this guy. And the Buchla is based on wave folding. So the bandpass filters inside of it are fun to play with, but to me the excitement is within wave folding. To that, okay, so in the ARP world, tried to tune it. The boards in this are pretty stable. That's just a single oscillator. I'm trying not to filter anything right now. And the main oscillator in the Buchla is based around wave folding, and that's like the sine wave, I'm assuming. When I did the ARP, was square wave, is what we were listening to there. So the idea that go. So single oscillators being played. I'll let you hear a little bit of wave folding. There was a lawsuit with the ARP 2600 with the Moog filter. There's a switch here, 1 and 2. I'm assuming the first one is the original ARP, and the second one was like the lawsuit filter. Not to get into anyone's feelings on any of that, but. think the Buchla sounds more rubbery. One of my friends said the ARP sounds more 80s, but I don't know if that's like a dated thing. Like you would think like synthwave and stuff like that. I think of the ARP or the monopoly. Another synth I play a lot. Single oscillator again. Let's do a saw. You lose a lot of the ass when this filter turns on, right? And the second one tries to keep some of that. No, they both lose it. Okay, so what made this thing so cool, or so weird? Why did Joe Zawaiwe, or the guy that played with Weather Report, carry two of them everywhere he went? Why did Stevie Wonder used this. Why did it show up in a lot of places? Tonto had one inside of it. There, you know, the ARP's iconic. It's been a lot of places. And at first, like when I started playing with it, I was like, big deal, it's a synth, right? But let's like try to unlock maybe a little bit of the mystery of why an ARP 2600 is so cool, right? Number one, that in the synth world is something that's like super smart and cool that most of us love. Drone. I can just drone all the time. Second thing is its ability to modulate. Maybe for its more iconically known sound, it's our little broken robot buddy, right? Now, I'm sure the ARP showed up in a lot of other places. More notably, the 2500 is Steven Spielberg's Close Encounters, if anyone knew that. When I was reading, I was really excited about all the history of all the stuff, right? But more importantly, the ability to modulate on such a fast level is why the ARP is so cool, right? Like you can make sound effects with it quickly, right? Sample and hold to the filter. That was me adding lag, so that's like it sounds kind of slewy is the word in the, I think in the Buchla, you know, where it's a slewed voltage, and that means it's turning. Now it's not hard to hear, but the ring mod, right? And then you wonder what these are, right? So these are like little malts that I can hold in my hand. They're jacks, right? I'm going to take that slewed sample and hold. I'm going to make 5 copies of it. One back into the filter. Okay, and that's a little piece of R2 magic that a lot of people will not tell you. Okay, so I was messing with this yesterday. The reason I wanted to do this stream was to show you guys how R2D2 is made. And I believe they were sending the ring mod as a control voltage to modulate the filter. And that's how we get R2 having like his spaz out, right? Because like normal sample and hold, not going to say it's boring, but it's just like not R2. Right? And when you add the ring mod as the modulator, you get those moments when he's a little bit, I'd say, angry, right? The other thing that I know they used is a microphone to the input, and then they plug in a mic, and they would talk with the ring mod in that same process. So that's how you got R2, like, you know, saying things with that, right? When that ring mod, I malted the ring mod too. Bring it back into itself. So from a sound designer's point of view, I think this is where we see R2's heart kind of came from, right? It's funny because in the normal sense of the art, my friend said he liked it better than the Moog bass. Now, there was a point in time that I thought it was way better than the Moog, and then I started playing with this oscillator, and my world changed, right? So, why would this system make me so excited? And, you know, I had my days when I had chances to have ARPs, you know, and I love the idea of having an ARP. I love that mini one. It's so cute. That's the idea that I have of getting one. Why did I go this machine, right? Well, I like that it looked like an American flag, so July 4th. No, Don Buchla has a really cool design. Modulations built into the oscillator. Stability to instability in less than a couple seconds, right? So for me, this machine had a little bit weirder of a pizzazz. I don't know. Happy 4th of July. When you wake up, I hope you see the stream, like, right? A lot of fun stuff. Any of these synths you're seeing, you can make like kick drums, you can make like any sound in the world with this thing, right? Same with the Buchla. Like we can make bongo. You've heard Buchla bongo, you know, the suggested term, right? In that instance. Okay, there's a little jam for everybody. That was the Buchla as the drums and the ARP as the whatever sound that was over top of it. So that was a good example of how the Buchla does sit as a nice drum. Now, could we make drums out of this? Yes, you know we could, right? That filter. Trying on the fly, right? There's our kick from the ARP, right? I mean, I imagine you can use any of these synths to sound design any sound you would ever want, right? So with that, I'm going to play a little bit more on the ARP and then I'm going to go. But happy 4th of July, and hopefully you got to hear 2 different synthesizers, maybe learn a little bit about them.